just don't want us to look like heathens. We're not heathens, damn it.
We are.
We
I've
are.
always been a heathen.
You're a heathen?
I'm a hillbilly. I was raised in hillbilly land. In the hills of Kentucky. And in the mountains of Pennsylvania, so I was mountain folk and a hillbilly.
To keep from crying.
I'm a special kind of special.
You're not breaking out in song right now, so I don't know that you're a real hillbilly. Sometimes
I have one guy that I was with Joseph after he moved in, and he went to school with someone who I worked with, who's now a team lead at Taylorville Walmart.
Yeah.
And he goes, he sees Joseph walking by. Instead of saying, at first he was like waving hi to me, and then he saw Joseph. He was like, "Whoa, it's you!" And he's like, "Yeah, it's me."
It had to be.
And he goes, "Joseph, right?" And he goes, "Yeah." He didn't think anyone remembered who he was in school. Like, no one gave a shit.
It had to be.
But Bradley was like, "No, man, you were always so cool, so nice and everything. I remember you used to do this thing where you slapped your legs." And I was like
a sumo? Like a sumo?
No, he was ham boning.
Okay.
I taught him how to ham bone.
Oh.
When we were talking about music and stuff?
Yeah.
He says, "You used to do so hard." I was like, "Yeah, he did it even better than me, ham boning."
You were so good.
Oh, you're recording me?
No, not at all. Yeah, I'm recording it.
Why are you recording me talking about ham boning?
Had to be you. Because I told you action.
There's some people that look at ham boning as like racist and stuff like that.
I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what ham boning is.
It's using your legs as a musical instrument. The
What's wrong
slaves
with that?
started it.
Why is it racist?
Because it's connected to slavery.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know.
It's physiology, anatomy.
It's just music, and I thought it's fun.
Right.
I think it's fun.
Can you ham bone for me?
Do you know
right
there's
now?
still a ham boning competitions? I can't do it as good as I used to.
Well, it doesn't matter if you can do it good.
Because I used to be able to do it fast, but I can't anymore because of joints and old age.
Joints. Can you do the truffle shuffle? You know the truffle shuffle?
No, I'm not doing the truffle shuffle.
You want to do the truffle shuffle?
I'm not doing the truffle shuffle.
All right.
I've lost a lot of weight as a lady. I don't even want to do the truffle shuffle anymore. I want to get rid of all that weight.
It had to be you.
I looked at the video, the one that I did when I first got this injury where I had the stitches.
Yeah.
Because it popped up in my save for later, and I was looking at my old videos.
Right.
And I was sitting there looking at it, I was looking at how swollen my face was, but I was like, my body was swollen too in that video.
Yeah, he was swole, but
I was fat.
Yeah, he was swollen up with adipose tissue.
I still am a little fat, but you know.
Well, you're not fat. I wouldn't call the motherfucker fat. I'd say he had. He was Samoan. Shit.
I was 280,
right?
And then I've gotten down to the 250.
Now, we have a little bet going. A coworker and I that we're not going to name, on how much you think Jared weighs. And I say he's at least 300 pounds. Minimum 300 pounds.
Well, last time I seen him here, he's in the he could be in the 290 at least.
I'm saying 300.
So he could be that 300. He's a little thicker than me. I have like no buttons.
That's what I'm saying.
And my legs have always been skinny.
He's a husky boy, and he's taller than you.
He could be.
Well, no, he's about the same height as you, isn't he?
He could be the 300, but I say 290 at least.
Well, he's burly throughout. Like he's He's not, like you're all arms.
I'm tall torso.
Torso, and he's evenly distributed.
Yeah. I wish I was kind of evenly distributed. Because I'd look pretty good if I was evenly distributed.
You got.
I wouldn't look like a reverse weeble wobble.
They got a pill. They got a pill for that. It's called a no-acetol pill. Have you ever heard of that?
No-acetol.
No-acetol? Yeah, you can try that one. Anyway, the fans want to know what we're doing tonight. Do you have any? We're 4 minutes in. This could be the longest opening video ever.
Well, you just edited it back down. We don't need all of what we just did. You started recording before I was ready.
Oh, no. Everything's got to be full and totally inclusive. I want to be inclusive on this channel. Don't you want to be inclusive?
Sometimes.
Ham boning, though. Let me know.
It depends on if I want Josh to be there or not. Then I'll be inclusive. And except for him, I'll be exclusive when it just.
Here's what we'll
Josh
do.
is coming.
I'll make this an intro video. We're not even going to open that box yet. We're going to this is going to be Hamboning Racist. That's going to be the name of this video.
Hamboning?
Yeah, that's what you called when you slap your... Yeah, hamboning.
Is Hamboning Racist?
Is hamboning...
Well, how's that going to get anyone to watch an unboxing video about Hero Quest?
Well, that's next. That's coming up next. So, things to come after this video. You will get to see us open Hero Quest for your viewing pleasure.
I don't believe hamboning is racist.
I don't believe any action...
Just because slaves did it because they didn't have musical instruments.
I don't believe any action you take that isn't intentionally racist, i.e., my intent is to be racist right now, is racist because it's just a bodily function.
Yeah.
So if I say I went like this, right? Now, historically,
that's kind of racist.
Historically, that'd be very racist, wouldn't it? However, say I...
but if you're just getting a taxi...
That's right. Say I'm trying to wave a taxi down and I accidentally make that motion, right? Or I'm from, I don't know, Tongo or Zimbabwe or somewhere where they don't even know what that is, or they've never been experienced it, and they do that salute. Okay? Is that racist? Or what if in their culture this is racist and intentionally so, and it's overtly racist?
Just you pointing at
them? Yeah. I'm just saying, in their culture, maybe that's a racist symbol, but we're not going to take it that way, So there's a whole lot of gray area here is what I'm getting at. Like,
that's the other one with the OK symbol.
Yeah. OK signs racist.
Became racist, and I was like...
Yeah. Well, basically, here's what it is. I got a theory. Anything to do with people they disagree with is racist because it gives them a moral high ground and it allows them to control the narrative. Because if they can say you're racist, they're dehumanizing you. They're basically obfuscating any points you might make by decreeing you an untouchable. They are, castigating you.
So everything you do from that point is wrong.
That's right. It's purely, and I run into this all the time. They can't argue the merits. They can't even answer simple questions. Like you ask them, what's a woman? They can't answer those questions. They don't want to answer those questions. They're not comfortable answering those questions.
It depends. It could be.
Well, sure. And that's fine. I'm not trying to have that debate. What I'm saying is,
we're not.
They don't want to answer those questions.
It's a never-ending debate. Neither side
agree on it. Exactly. So, but if you let them frame you as a racist simply for being you, then they've already won. And if you lower your head in shame because whatever pretended offenses if you buy their bullshit, basically, so. You're guilty by being born with that skin color of everything they say you're guilty of, unless you bow your head and kiss their feet. And that is my main problem with the left today.
Yeah, they don't. A lot of people, not all of them. I'm not going to say all of them are the same because that's.
Well, no,
that's what they're trying to do with us.
Exactly.
With the other side.
But I've
noticed most people would say on the left that I'm right when that's right. Far from the truth.
You're right.
I'm right down the middle. I've voted both ways. You win my votes by however you are.
Yeah, you're policy based.
Yeah.
Imagine that. What an idea. No, you're exactly right. Not all. But I'm just saying it's a disturbing trend that I see more and more of on the left, is they will categorize people. They're hyper categorizing people in every way, facet. It's like some sort of strange cult of victimhood.
It's like my brother, who's really conservative, does the same thing. He thinks I'm liberal because I oppose his way of life. Because I oppose anyone who's far right or far left. Both of them are wrong, I think, in my experience.
There you go.
I think the smart thing to do is policy-based. Listen to what that person's going for.
Well,
how do they detect themselves? The time a politician goes in there and puts in hate stuff against another party, they've lost my vote.
Right. So you're saying if they're like Democrats are blah blah demagoguery,
it's like
what you're talking about.
If you're opposing somebody, you can say this is not the way, and then follow it up with your beliefs. I'm fine with that. But if the whole ad is just you putting down their beliefs and it doesn't explain to me what you're for,
right? Mudslinging.
What's the point of that ad?
You see a lot of that too.
I know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's completely I've gone through elections where I didn't vote for either party because of that.
I rarely vote for Republicans or Democrats, but almost never. I find both insufferable. They all think they have some magical formula that's going to create this utopia. The utopias look very different, but the fact of the matter is neither of them are ever.
To me, America needs both sides, not one side.
Well, they're all one side, though, in my opinion. So I see it like this. There's left and right, that's fine. But there's also up and down.
But I had this conversation with my nephew where he was like, well, what is a Democrat? What is a Republican? And I was like, okay, this is the most simple way you can describe a Democrat and Republican.
Okay.
If these are the main two parties, because you didn't even mention Libertarian.
Well, no, because none of them have, nobody wins.
Or Tea Party.
Nothing
or
happens.
Green Party or anything like that.
They may as well not exist.
But Republican and Democrat. Democrats base their policies on the individual. That's what they're mainly shooting for is each person. The thing is, each person is different. So it's really hard to make a policy based on one person if everybody's different. Republican, on the other hand, values family, group, their inner circle. They're trying to take care of everyone they take care of. And this is why the Republican nominees usually have a better knowing of what their people want than what the Democrat leaders do. Because the Democrat can be made out of 20 million different types of people and and just take care of one set of them instead of take care of the loudest group, the loudest individuals anyway, instead of taking care of all of them. The Republicans try to group in everybody together because they're trying to take care of groups.
Okay.
And that's how I look at them too. Is like the Republican side's mainly based off of group, family, their inner circle. That's all they care about. They could care less about anyone who's outside of that circle because that's what they're trying to take care of. But the Democrat side is individual, and that's why the policies on the Democrat side are starting to get a little out of whack because they already paid attention to some of the loudest groups. Now they're trying to pay attention to those other louder groups. The ones that don't get that time, which I think you should listen to everybody. But it's really hard to make a policy for someone that is not the majority of that group.
Right. So I actually think it's in some ways they're both the same. In some ways they're the opposite of what you're saying, but it's all very complex. And so it would depend on a policy by policy basis on exactly what you were talking about. It also seems
that the Democratic Party, the people who run the Democratic Party, I'm not saying everybody who's a Democrat.
Right.
I'm saying the people,
I got you.
The people who run, the people that pick the president pretty much to run for that party.
Isn't it neat how Bernie got shafted twice?
They are against their people.
Right.
Completely. So they're pushing certain people. Mostly all the Democrats I know were against Joe Biden being president.
Right. Which is anecdotal.
Even though he is the Democratic thing. I found so many Democrats that hate Biden.
I've never met anybody personally who was excited about Biden.
They just hated Trump more than they hated Biden.
Right.
And I'm just like, so that means your leaders are not even listening to you.
I will be interested to see who takes the mantle when Biden inevitably falters.
He's running again, but he's got a very low approval rating.
They say he's running again. I don't actually think that's going to happen. I could be wrong. I don't think that's going to happen. I think something is going to happen between now and then that changes that. I don't know what it'll be or what form it'll take, but I don't think realistically that Joe Biden can do another term.
On both sides, there's a lot of weird things going on with both parties.
There are.
If you were paying attention to it. It's like Tulsi Gabbard isn't even Democrat anymore.
No, she's a Republican
now, But she plans on running for president in the next election.
Okay.
So where's she going to run? Is she Republican, Democrat, independent?
I don't know. It is getting blurred. And the reason for that is because the Democrats went hard left. And the Republicans have kind of moved to the middle. They're not hard right.
Yeah.
They're actually soft. A lot of the hard right people are calling them rhinos. I don't know if you've been paying attention.
And
With that McCarthy hearing, or was it, McCarthy, House Speaker McCarthy, getting him in was a chore. And it shouldn't have been a chore. He should have been, one of the clear choices. There might have been a handful of people who could have done it. But it was a chore. And the reason it's a chore is because our country's so polarized right now, and everybody's going extreme. The right's going extreme, the left's going extreme, and the people in the middle, they're kind of getting left behind, I think, politically.
The Democrat Party is made up of so many people that are so, it seems like they don't know who they want, because you got these Bernie Sanders people, but then they're like, oh, he's too old, his policies are too much of a change,
right?
And then you got
I think Bernie would have
Marianne Williamson had a huge following, and then it just started disappearing once she got into debates, because she's not a politician,
right?
She can't debate very well.
So I believe that if the DNC wasn't doing the shenanigans they did, that Bernie Sanders would have been the nominee
I probably would agree
in
with that.
2016, and I believe he would have beat Donald Trump in 2016.
I think he would have, because he steals some of the conservative votes.
That's right. I will say,
even though he's for the socialism thing,
I will say of Bernie,
he's more conservative than he is Democrat, I believe, but he's more down the middle, I think.
Well, I don't know
think
about
he's as
that.
far left as.
I believe that of the politicians we have, Bernie is one of the type who are true crusaders who believe their own bullshit. And so for that, I'll give him credit, because he actually believes his bullshit. However,
but he can also back it with a lot of research, because he's been doing it for years. So
I mean, he can talk a good game, sure. Yeah. You know who else?
He does have a plan semi put up though in his head, which is more than what we could have said for Biden or Trump even.
Right.
They didn't really have a plan set up.
Well, I'm no Trump fan, I'll tell you that. But Bernie Sanders and we don't have any common ground. He lives in a fantasy world, and I live in the real world. But that's a different discussion. But I will give him credit.
But, on the Republican side, you had like Ted Cruz had a huge following before the last election, and then he lost a bunch to Trump. And then we thought DeSantis was going to be this front runner coming up into the next election on the Republican side. But he started to fall off a little bit.
I have a theory about that. So the Democrats want Trump. That's why the Department of Justice gave down those indictments on Trump, because it makes Trump a martyr, and it galvanizes his base. 30% of Republicans, I believe it is, support Trump right off the bat. Those aren't going away.
Blindly support Trump.
They blindly support him. They aren't going away. But now, because they've done these indictments, the New York indictment is bunk, and the one that they have for the documents is going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I believe he's technically guilty of the crime. However, it's a crime that's never been prosecuted before on a former president for good reason. So I think even if he gets convicted, he'll still be the nominee unless something major changes. And I think he'll pardon himself if he's elected immediately. And that's going to create a whole bunch of stink too. And the whole thing stinks of high heaven. And quite honestly, enough politics on this channel. Let's get to...
sorry.
No, that's okay. Ham hawking is not racist, I'll tell you that. Hamboning. Is that hamboning?
Hamboning.
And if you say, I'm doing this because I hate a group of people, right? If you do that, okay, it's racist. That's the only time it's racist. Anyone who tells you it's racist, roll your eyes at them. They are morons, okay? And anyone who gets offended by everything that ever happened...
Hamboning is just a fun...
Right. And so, you see these people...
Right there.
They look to be offended, and they want me to take them seriously when they're crying about something like hamboning or the OK sign or whatever it is they're crying about. When we have real problems to discuss, real issues, and they're just looking to virtue signal, and that makes me sick to my stomach, honestly, that we've devolved as a nation as we people that we can't even decipher what's important anymore. Anyway, I'm going to leave it on that. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for watching, and like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed Seneca's viewpoints today. Ciao.